Hello student, welcome to my class. So you all know that the whole world is in a crisis, COVID-19 crisis. We all are in lockdown. So teaching and learning, it is a system that we cannot stop, and to achieve something, to achieve a goal, so we have to read. Wherever we are, we have to read. By sitting at home, I hope you all are safe and staying at home. So the very nearer goal that we have to achieve, it is that your final examination. For class 10 it is very important, HSLC, and the class 9 it is half yearly and then final. Class 10, your final is your life first turning point, that after that you will go in a very different direction. Some will go to arts, science, commerce, like this. So now let's come to directly the chapter. First evaluation syllabus we have completed, notes given. Now because of this lockdown, so the school could not conduct the examination, first evaluation exam, and now we have to start the half yearly syllabus. Regarding this half yearly syllabus, from my subject social science, the 4 chapters are there: history 2 chapter 2nd and the 3rd, and geography chapter 2. Now we will discuss history chapter 2. History chapter 2, growth of nationalism. What is nationalism? Now, before knowing what is nationalism, we must know what is a nation. Is India a nation? Is United States of America is a nation? Concerning to India, India is not a nation, India is nation making. So it's a very vast and the long concept that we will not discuss. So what is nationalism? India was not nation until a revolt of 1857. So it was the revolt of 1857 that for the first time gave birth to the concept of nation, and for the first time the idea of the nation, it was flourished, it was came into being in 1789 in the French Revolution. Now nation it is a specific geographical boundary where a particular group of people lives. Now all those particular group of people, when they achieve either social, religious, economic, all these privileges and the right, that it is called a nation. Now India was to not nation, still India is nation making. So growth of nationalism, it was inevitable part from the side of national movement or the freedom movement. Now revolt of 1857, some says that, some historian says that it was the first war of independence. Some says not, no, it is not first war of independence, as because the all Indians had not participated in the movement. Now nationalism, it is a very broad concept. In short, if we say that one's patriotic feeling towards the nation. Number of causes, factors that led to the growth of nationalism are there in the chapter. We will discuss one by one. Revolt of 1857 was a failure. It was because coordination and organization among the people and the leaders were not there. All the princely kingdom were fighting for themselves, were fighting for their own interest, not for the nation. So India was not a nation. When India got independence, 1947, number of princely kingdoms were there. Hyderabad, Junagadh, Jammu Kashmir, like number of princely kingdom were there. So later all those kingdom they joined Indian Union. So the coming of British and taking power by them in India is helped Indian to gain the independence, through that nationalism. So it is a patriotic feeling, a feeling towards motherland. Now how all this happened? Now if we discuss the causes, then we will come to know. And when British came, they came for the business purpose, but situation offered them to grab the power in India. Two terms are there, colonialism and imperialism. What is colonialism? To make a colony, to make another foreign country as colony, and imperialism to take the political power of that colony country. It is imperialism. And the main motto of this colonialism and the imperialism is to exploit economically of that particular country. Now this colonialism and this imperialism, when the India became an imperial country, so under the British, so then they started number of policies. So it was the inevitable part from them, because that's to flourish the trade, they started modern means of transport and communication. It was inevitable part. So before the British, Mughal was ruling. Mughal was in a sinking boat. Mughal was declining. The power of Mughal was declining. So British took the power in their hand after winning the two battles. And these are the Battle of Buxar and Battle of Plassey. Battle of Plassey fought 1757 and the Buxar 1764. After that, the Treaty of Allahabad signed between the Emperor Shah Alam and the Robert Clive. By that treaty, the British got the Diwani right. Diwani right means collection of the revenue. It was the system that from this Treaty of Allahabad, they started expanding their territory from Bengal to whole country. Now, one side they were ruling India, British was ruling India. Another side, some of the initiative they had taken, it was inevitable. Inevitable in the means that it was necessary part from their side that they must do if they are to rule the India. From this angle, if we see, then we can first come to the point that how growth of nationalism started, and the first factor that we will discuss. Influence of Western education. Now, what is Western education? The education what prevalent in the Western countries, Great Britain, like the other European countries. Now, what is in contrast to this Western education, then what is Eastern education? Means the indigenous education. In this indigenous education, it is that the mainly religious education, and country like India, to rule such a vast country, Britishers need some educated Indian. That is why they started Western education, means their own system of education in India. For that, for the first time, it was the Charter Act of 1813. For the first time, the educational grant was given 1 lakh for Indian. For the first time, it was a very big step that the British had taken. From then, the educational reformation started in India. Then, modern educational institution set up in the different parts of the country. The different educational institution graded, say the Sir Charles Wood, he was the president of board of director. So the Wood dispatch is there. So he released a dispatch that in that dispatch, so chronologically the grading system from the primary to higher education. So LP, ME, like this, the middle, then higher, like this, all these graded are done, and the people are encouraged to come to school, irrespective of course, gender. So Indian society was very closed in the sense that the women were not allowed to go out. The society was very conservative. Britishers, they started encouraging the people to come through the different mechanism that includes the missionary, of course. Christian missionary, of course, play a very important role in the spread of this modern education in India. So, with the touching of this modern education, they became educated, and very important thing here we have to see that the touch of modern ideas. When British they started the Western education, it was not that they will start, of course, by picking up the local stories or the ideas. It was not that at all. So they introduced the modern system, everything, math, science, all this, philosophy, English literature. When all this started, then the Indian, those who took admission in the British run institution, they came to know the different ideas which were flourishing, say the self-determination, self-government, then democracy, sovereignty, integrity. So all these ideas, they came to know all these ideas from the writing of Voltaire, Rousseau, Locke, Bentham, Mill, etc. Now they also got inspired from the writing and from the story of American War of Independence and the other foreign countries history. When they came to know, then all the educated Indians, they were very much influenced, and from then they determined themselves to spread all these ideas to the nook and corner of the country. Now, when all this will be spread, when all this will be there at the nook and corner of the country, then people will come to know and they will realize their the system of self-government, okay, system of self-governance, and of course, and democracy, freedom, liberty. Now, nobody want to live under someone influence. If today someone tell me to live under his suppression or the subjugation, of course I shall resist, I shall try my best not to come under that person. At that time, all the educated Indian, they also started spreading all these ideas. Educated people, their mind was very broad. They made themselves broad by knowing all these ideas in the writing of other foreign countries' writers, that the Rousseau, the philosopher Rousseau, Montaigne, this Voltaire, Bentham, Locke, Mill, etc. So all those people, the great writers writing, so when they came to know in their system of education, then they were inspired. Now, question here it is that Britishers, why they introduce all these ideas in the system or the system of education? Now, it was the inevitable part. Now, they are to make the Indian educated so that they can use all the Indians in their functioning of their government, running of their administration. So, to make them broad, okay, and to let them know the different ideas and the working of the government and all this. So all the educated Indian, they started spreading all these ideas, and as a result, and this ushered a sense of nationalism among the ideas by means of the educated Indians writing or their propagation by moving here and there, and mainly the countryside, the village side, when they started moving, and they also started preaching in the spreading of all these ideas, and as a result, so it ushered a sense of nationalism among the Indians. Nationalism, I said nationalism, and the chapter is all about the growth of nationalism, national feeling, okay, a feeling towards a nation. Now that feeling, now feeling of it is in general, if we say that feeling, what is a feeling? Okay, feeling, it is of hatred, it is of love, okay, it is mix of these two, number of feelings are there, okay. So now is the feeling, the national feeling or the patriotic feeling that includes integrity, sovereignty, and many more. Now, when all these will be achieved, or after achieving also, if we compromise the sovereignty and the integrity of the country, then our nationalism of course will be questioned. Now, to raise this nationalism, what our freedom fighter or all these newly educated Indian have done, that we must remember that. And now, it was their contribution that throughout the country they started spreading these ideas, and as a result, so it was a new beginning. I said it was a new beginning which ushered a sense of nationalism among the Indians. So this is all about the influence of this modern or the Western education. This is the first factor. And moving towards the second factor, which led to the growth of nationalism, it is development of means of transport and communication. Transport and communication is the artery of a particular region's economy. Without a good means of transport and communication, a particular region or a country cannot progress at all. Now, why British started all this modern means of transport and communication in India? So, it was also a necessary part from their side, because they are to enjoy the natural resource of the country, and to do so, this development of this modern means of transport and communication was utmost important. Now, the main purpose of this means of development of means of transport and communication was to for the movement of goods and services and troops. It also served the cause for the educated Indian, for their free movement, for their easy movement from one corner to the other corner of the country to propagate their ideas. Now, regarding this means of transport and communication, first railway started in Bombay to Thane. Now, railway, why the British started railway? This railway network, they are to distribute their finished product in the Indian markets, they need railway line. And while extracting the raw material, they need also a railway line. And that is why throughout the country, every nook and corner of the country, they connected through this railway network. They also started the telegraph service in Calcutta at Pearl Harbor for the easy communication. This is the main reason. Now, how this factor, how this means of this transport, the modern transport and communication helped Indian. Our main concern is to look for the growth of nationalism. Now, have all this helped Indian regarding the growth of nationalism? The educated Indian say they are at a place A. Here 20 educated Indians are there. They are fully burst with the modern ideas. Say this democracy, federalism, or the ideas of this self-rule, okay, or the ideas of the decentralization of the power and all this. This is the modern, all these concepts. They are very well burst. But if they cannot go from place A to place Z, how they will spread all these ideas? So they need to move. So it is also not that they are immovable. Means if they go by their foot, so it will take time. Okay, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. So when this modern means of transport and communication started, Indians, the educated Indians, they got the very fantastic opportunity for the easy movement from one place to another place to spread the all these modern ideas among the masses. Second one, printing. Christian missionary for the first time started printing in India, in West Bengal, to spread their religious tenets, the religious principles and all this. Later we will discuss how the Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he vehemently opposed the criticism of the Hinduism. One must not do that. So through these writings also, they started spreading the ideas and all this. So when people came to know from the different writings and from the educated Indians, from their mouth, so all this infused a sense of nationalism among the Indians. Now, moving towards the next point, it is the socio-religious movement. Socio-religious movement. Socio-religious means social. Now, religion India under the British, the different religious group were being attacked. It was not that physical attack by the Christian missionaries. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he is also regarded as the modern man of India. He belongs from a very orthodox Brahmin Bengali family. He started religious movement in Bengal. The very motive of starting his religious movement was to unite people, to bring people together. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he saw the defects, not defects means the superstition in the Hindu religion, and the people those were practicing and following the superstition or the different activities actually which are not there in the Hindu religion. He was very much vehemently opposing the incident when the Christian missionary, through their writing, started criticizing the Hindu religion and glorifying their own Christian religion. Then Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he thought that the reformative initiative must be taken to bring all the Hindu people under umbrella by eliminating or the removing all this superstition or the practices which are not there in the religion, Hindu religion. For that, he founded in 1813 the Atmiya Sabha. 1828, he founded Brahmo Samaj. Now, while he founding these two, Atmiya Sabha and the Brahmo Samaj, what was the intention? The Raja Ram Mohan Roy's intention of founding these? He wanted that people should worship the God who is omnipotent, omnipresent, and invisible. And he denounced the idol worship. According to him, in Hinduism, there is no idol worship, and this superstition, the idea of superstition should not be there. So, to bring and to unify all the people, he founded Atmiya Sabha in 1815 and Brahmo Samaj in 1828. When this, now how this socio-religious movement, say the Raja Ram Mohan Roy's this movement and founding of this Brahmo Samaj, how this helped towards the growth of nationalism. Now, let me set a very small example. When there will be differences in the family, there will be no unity. When there will be, say, no differences, the unity will be much stronger. He wanted to remove all these differences, difficulties, the ill practices or the superstition, all the demerits what people were practicing or following. He wanted to remove all that. When all this will be removed, then a sense of belongingness will come. And that sense of belongingness, togetherness, nothing but nationalism, and that he wanted to achieve by any means. He denounced sati system. Sati system, it is the burning of a live wife with dead husband. So how at present, if we are to think that how cruel system it was. Now that time the people used to follow this. He denounced all that, and it was because of his initiative, and his initiative that the Lord William Bentinck, he prohibited this sati system. So Raja Ram Mohan Roy, his contribution towards the movement and growth of nationalism and making India a modern country was immense, and he, for that, to achieve education is something, idea always comes, ideas always comes out from the classroom. So all those reformer, means those who started reformation movement, all this in India and the other foreign countries also, if you see, so all those the great leader were also a great academician also. Raja Ram Mohan Roy also, he wanted that the removing of all this system, the ill practices. He founded Hindu College in Kolkata in the year 1817. That college later became the Presidency College in the year 1858. Raja Ram Mohan Roy's concept, if we are to see, then in three heads we can divide. Three heads we can divide. Social, that include this, both the man and the woman. Okay, widow remarriage, he also encouraged widow remarriage. Social, he encouraged widow remarriage. Political, he pressurized the government not to increase the exorbitant rate of this land revenue and the other system, and encourage the government, pressurize the Britishers to give more relaxation to the Indian farmer. And education, he set up this Hindu College, which later became the Presidency College. Now, his system of working and whatever he had done in the different fields, so got inspired by number of other people. If I say this Henry David Thoreau, this number of people, those who got inspiration from him, this Thoreau, he founded Young Bengal Association. It was because of this Raja Ram Mohan Roy's inspiration. Now, if someone starts something very innovative which benefits the society, of course other will get inspiration, and it was because of his contribution that he is regarded as the modern man of India. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, by removing all the superstition or the practices actually which are not there in the religion, by reinterpreting the Vedas, he wanted to taught the Indians the true Hinduism and the true Hindu religion that they are to follow and to worship. So when all this will be removed, togetherness will come among the people, and when togetherness and the belongingness will be there, then it is nationalism. And when this togetherness, belongingness and the nationalism will be there, such nationalism and the country's integrity and the sovereignty will not be questioned and will not be threatened by anyone, and such will be very strong. This is all about the contribution of Raja Ram Mohan Roy and his Brahmo Samaj. Now moving towards the next factor, the socio-religious movement, it is Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj, it was a Samaj that founded in Punjab. Arya Samaj (1875) founded in Punjab by Swami Dayanand Saraswati. The very purpose of this founding of this Samaj was to remove all the practices which people are following, actually which are not there in the religion. Casteism, child marriage, encourage widow marriage, education among women, like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, who also opposed the polytheism and emphasized monotheism. Polytheism and the monotheism. Monotheism, mono, one. Poly, multiple. So, worshipping of one God and the worshipping of multiple God. So, monotheism. Raja Ram Mohan Roy emphasized monotheism, means to worship one God who is omnipresent, omnipotent and the omnipresent. So, who is most powerful and present everywhere. Swami Dayanand Saraswati also encouraged this monotheism and denounced this polytheism. Polytheism, worshipping of the multiple gods. And he gave the slogan that go back to Vedas. So it means he was telling to the people to worship according to the Vedas, according to Ved, Rig, Sham, Yajur, Athar. The four Vedas are there. Four Vedas are there. So now, when all this superstition and the system of worshipping of God which are not there in the religion will be removed, people are divided according to the different sect or the worshipping of the different gods. When all this will be removed and the people will come under one umbrella, coming under one umbrella, and togetherness is nothing but usuring a sense of nationalism. And it was the contribution, and for that Swami Dayanand Saraswati, he wanted to achieve that. He wanted his people to be all time together. Okay, when togetherness will be there, then there will be a sense of belongingness. When sense of belongingness will be there, then of course there will issue a sense of nationalism, and that he wanted to achieve. Arya Samaj, the branches also set up in the other parts of the country, other parts of the country with same ideas. Now, Prarthana Samaj. Prarthana Samaj, it was set up by, started by Keshav Chandra Sen. Prarthana Samaj set up by Keshav Chandra Sen, and the main reformer of this Samaj was Justice Govind Ranade. He was the main reformer. Now, the Samaj, it was started in the year 18. It was started in Maharashtra. In the year 1869. Keshav Chandra Sen started this Samaj. The two work done by this Samaj, and the main reformer of this Justice Govind Ranade. He was the main reformer of this organization. Now, Justice Govind Ranade, he drew the inspiration from Namdev, Tukaram, Ramdas, like this person, and accordingly he set up this widow remarriage association and Deccan Education Society. Widow remarriage association and Deccan Education Society. Under this Prarthana Samaj, the main two works are done by the main reformer of this organization, though started by Keshav Chandra Sen, and the main reformer of the organization is Justice Govind Ranade, Widow Remarriage Association. Now, under this association, widows are remarriage. They encourage, help the widows to get married again. And the organization also did something very well, that at that time it was very fantastic initiative that they started this organization started small cottage industry for the widows, so that they can earn money and lead a dignified life. So widows are at that time neglected in the society, not allowed to get married again. So this organization encouraged the women to get married, to have a good life like the other married women. For the widow women, the organization started, this Samaj started, set up cotton industries, small cottage industries for the widows, so that they can earn money and lead a comfortable and dignified life in the society. Second, this Deccan Education Society. Deccan Education Society, it was that they started to spread the light of education among the people, mainly the orphans and the underprivileged children and the orphans. They started this school, night school also, and the set up different school, hostel and all this, so that the underprivileged and the orphan children, they can learn and they can become educated. And this Samaj also started under the banner of this Deccan Education Society, the different orphanage for the homeless children, those whose parents are not there, roaming here and there like vagabond on the street, so that they can get education, proper education, and this orphan and the underprivileged children. And it was the contribution of Prarthana Samaj, which was set up in Maharashtra in the year 1869 started by Keshav Chandra Sen. Now, the question is that by setting a Samaj and this under this Samaj, again the two organization widow WRA and the DES, how all this help in the growth of nationalism. Of course, when the light of education will be there, when these widows are not allowed to get married again in the society, and they were not allowed to have a dignified life in the society, then of course this is also an evil in the society. So now set up in this organization and removing the differences and educating the orphans and the homeless children is nothing but a sense of belongingness towards the motherland. And when all this will be achieved and the differences and the narrow-mindedness will be removed from the minds of people by allowing the woman, the widow woman, or helping them to get married again and helping them to earn their bread and butter by themselves by setting up the small and the cottage industry to have a dignified life in the society, when all this evil and the bad practices will be removed from the society. Of course, a sense of belongingness will come, and this belongingness towards and the togetherness towards the motherland is nothing but it will infuse a sense of nationalism among the Indians. Now, I am telling my student that you are to read the chapter. Without reading the chapter, you cannot remember chronologically one by one the different points. Once again I am telling, we have discussed first factor, influence of Western education; second, means of transport and communication, how this factor helped or led to the growth of nationalism. Then socio-religious movement. Under this first movement, Raja Ram Mohan Roy's movement and his Brahmo Samaj. Second, it was Arya Samaj, founded by Swami Dayanand Saraswati in the year 1875. Then Prarthana Samaj by Keshav Chandra Sen in the year 1869. These are the three different socio-religious movements we have discussed today. And the very motto of the first two, Raja Ram Mohan Roy's Brahmo Samaj and the Swami Dayanand Saraswati's Arya Samaj, is to remove the ill practices from the society, like the politicism, caste system, casteism, child marriage, and sati system, all this, and encouraging of the women education in the society. By leaving a section of people, say the women, behind the scene of development, a nation, a society cannot progress at all. It is very simple. So, in all the movement, socio-religious movement, three, Brahmo, Arya and Prarthana Samaj, we found one common thing, it is that women education. All emphasize women education, and the first two emphasize worshipping of one God, monotheism, which is invisible, omnipresent, and this the omnipotent, the most powerful. So this is all about our discussion, the day's discussion. This is all about our day's discussion, and we will meet tomorrow in the next class. This is the first part of the chapter 2, history 2, the growth of nationalism, and second part, the Ramakrishna mission, means from the same topic, socio-religious movement, the factor, it is a factor that the socio-religious movement, Ramakrishna mission, Theosophical Society, and Aligarh movement. This we will discuss in the second part of this chapter. Second part of the same chapter means in our second virtual class. So I urge all my students to read properly at your home, and if you have any doubt, you can ask by writing comment. Okay, by writing comment on the channel. That's all. Thanks to all.